Asterisk lights dim, soft music swells, and the camera pans to a cozy set with an armchair and a steaming mug of tea. The host steps into frame, voice steady yet charged with emotion. Asterisk welcome to the Jones Life Stories, where we uncover raw, unfiltered truths that ignite your soul and inspire change. Imagine a woman walking into a courthouse, head high, ready to do her job, only to face humiliation that strips her dignity bare. But what her tormentors don't know is she wields a power they can't fathom, and her silence is the calm before a storm that'll shake the foundations of justice. Stay with us. This story will grip your heart and remind you that courage can redraw the lines of power. Drop a comment to tell us where you're watching from. Your thoughts fuel our mission at the Jones Life Stories. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to join our community of truth seekers. Let's dive in. It's a crisp fall morning in Lexington, Virginia, where the air carries the scent of leaves and the promise of a new day. The Lexington Federal Building stands tall, its stone steps worn by decades of footsteps. At 7:45 a.m., Judge Imani Rhodes, a black woman in her early 50s, steps out of her silver Toyota Avalon, her navy coat tailored sharply, silver curls pulled back in tight, proud coils. Her walk is steady, deliberate, each step clicking against the pavement with purpose, a slim leather case in hand. Imani doesn't wear her judicial robe outside the courtroom, a choice rooted in her belief in entering as a citizen first, not cloaked in authority. She's been a federal judge for 12 years, known for her sharp mind and unyielding fairness. But as she approaches the courthouse's security checkpoint, the air thickens with tension. Deputy Colton Briggs, mid-40s, broad-built, with a weathered face and cold eyes, sizes her up. He doesn't recognize her, and his gaze lingers, calculating. "Ma'am," he says, irritation dripping. "Step out of line." Imani pauses, eyes meeting his. "Is there a problem, officer?" Her tone is even, but sharp. Briggs doesn't answer, scanning her silver curls, tailored slacks, and unyielding calm. Something about her unsettles him. "No ID visible," he mutters, though her federal judiciary badge is clipped to her coat. "You think you can just walk in here like some fancy lawyer? Not how it works, sweetheart." Imani holds up her badge. Its seal unmistakable, but Briggs snatches it, slipping it into his pocket. "I'd like that returned," she says, eyes narrowing. He steps closer, breath heavy with stale coffee. "In a hurry, sugar." The word lands like a slap, but Imani doesn't flinch. "I need to get to a courtroom," she states. Briggs scoffs. "Then you'll follow my procedure." Random check. "Let's go." He grabs her arm, firm, not bruising, but a clear show of power, and leads her down a quiet hallway to a small, windowless room. The door clicks shut. Inside, a single metal chair sits beside a stainless steel cart with scanning tools and, in the corner, electric clippers. Imani's heartbeat quickens, but her face remains composed. "I do not consent to this," she says. "You have no cause to detain me. This is unlawful." Briggs, arms folded, smirks. "You're acting suspicious," he says, offering no justification. Two more officers enter, one tall with nervous eyes, the other younger, gripping the chair. "You think flashing a badge means something?" Briggs sneers. "Not in here. Not with me." He picks up the clippers, flicks them on, the lobas filling the room. "What are you doing?" Imani demands, stepping back. "Standard protocol," he lies. "You could be hiding something in that curly little mop." She tries to move, but the younger officer shoves her toward the chair. She sits, fists clenched, chest rising slowly. The clippers touch her scalp. A thick curl slides to the floor, then another. She stares ahead as pieces of her identity fall, her breath catching once, eyes burning, but she doesn't let them see her break. One officer chuckles. "Looks better already. Should have come in without that damn attitude." Briggs smirks, brushing hair from his. "Uniform. Now you look like someone who knows her place." Imani's words cut through, sharp and clear. "You'll regret this." He leans in. "Yeah, people like you always say that," then walk off like good little girls. He opens the door, nodding lazily. "Courtroom's that way, ma'am." "Don't be late." Imani stands, retrieves her badge without asking, and walks out, heels clicking heavier, not with shame, but with controlled fury. She doesn't look back, because in minutes, The man who humiliated her will stand in her courtroom, realizing who she is. The hallway to courtroom 3B is quiet, her scalp tingling, raw patches stinging where her curls once were. Two clerks glance at her. One opens his mouth, then stops, the other looks away. They saw her dragged off, her hair falling, yet here she is, walking with unshakable calm. Inside, a high-profile hearing awaits. Commonwealth v. Lexington Police Department *, a case drawing national eyes over civil rights violations. Imani pushes open the courtroom doors, and the room falls silent. Heads swivel, attorneys and journalists stare, some in disbelief, others uncomfortable. She reaches the bench, unfolds her robe, and slips it on like armor. Across the room, Briggs stands by the side door, his face paling as their eyes meet. He freezes, mouth opening, but no sound comes. Is the docket ready? Imani asks the clerk, her voice steady. Yes, Your Honor, the clerk stammers. She nods, lowering herself into the chair. We will begin with preliminary testimony on Case 487L, charges of excessive force, civil rights violations, and abuse of power. The prosecutor calls Joseph Banner, a retired Army veteran who limps to the stand, describing how Officer Darren Voss shoved him to the pavement during a protest, cracking his ribs. Imani listens, taking careful notes, her gaze occasionally flicking to Briggs, who fidgets, hands twitching. After the second witness, a young woman pushed face first into a patrol car for recording police, Imani calls a recess. The courtroom empties, whispers floating like smoke. Alone with her clerk and two bailiffs, she speaks. Deputy Briggs, step forward. He swallows, approaching slowly. State your full name for the record. Colton Briggs, he says, voice cracking. How long have you served here? 18 years. She taps her pen. And in those 18 years, how many women have you handled without cause? He blinks, stammering. I didn't know you were a judge. Her voice sharpens. And if I hadn't been? Would this have been another morning where you dragged a black woman into a room and shaved her down like a threat? He opens his mouth, but she leans forward. 12 complaints against you, all dismissed, buried because no one had the power to make them stick until now. She stands. Effective immediately, you are suspended. Formal charges are being submitted to the Department of Justice. You will be escorted out in handcuffs. The bailiffs move, cuffs clicking as Briggs backs up, pleading, but it's over. He's let out, the same way he brought her in, without dignity. No one claps, but something shifts, a quiet reckoning settling over the room. Imani remains at the bench, unblinking, unbroken. The courtroom feels different now, no longer just a place of procedure, but a space holding its breath. As testimony resumes, more witnesses come forward. Lewis Bryan, whose ribs were broken by Briggs. Sandra Kerr, a records clerk who stayed silent too long, her eyes pleading forgiveness.